ចាបងអរគុណអញ្ចឹងជាបឋមនាងខ្ញុំសូមគោរពសមាជិកសមាជិកានៃអង្គស្ខាសាលាទាំងមូលអញ្ចឹងដោយខាងបង MC គាត់ប្រកាសអញ្ចឹងនាងខ្ញុំឈ្មោះសុកវណ្ណសិកាខ្ញុំជាមេធាវីខាងផ្នែកពាណិជ្ជកម្មហើយក៏បានចូលរួមជាមួយនឹងខាងក្រុមការងារនៅក្នុងការធ្វើគម្រោង STRACAP សម្រាប់ប្រទេសកម្ពុជាផងដែរអញ្ចឹងកុំឲ្យខាតពេលយូរនាងខ្ញុំបានដឹងថាមានការធ្វើបទបង្ហាញក៏មានកិច្ចពិភាក្សាលើកទី1ហ្នឹងគឺផ្ដោតសំខាន់ទៅលើការចូលរួមរបស់អង្គភាពសាធារណៈពាក់ព័ន្ធជាមួយនឹង STRACAP អញ្ចឹងបន្ទាប់ពីនេះនៅក្នុងកម្មវិធីនៃការកិច្ចពិភាក្សាដេញដោលរបស់យើងពេលនេះគឺយើងផ្ដោតសំខាន់ទៅលើការចូលរួមរបស់វិស័យឯកជនអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំសូម set stage ឬក៏បង្ហាញពីតថភាពជាក់ស្ដែងឬក៏បរិបត្តិនៃកិច្ចពិភាក្សារបស់យើងហ្នឹងគឺយើងដឹងហើយថា STRACAP គឺយើងកំពុងស្ថិតនៅក្នុងនិន្នាការនៅក្នុងការធ្វើ harmonization ឬក៏ធ្វើឲ្យមានភាពស៊ីចង្វាក់គ្នារវាងស្តង់ដារការអនុវត្ត STRACAP ហ្នឹងដើម្បីធ្វើឲ្យរបាំងនៃការនាំចេញនាំចូលហ្នឹងវាមានភាពធូររលុងជាងមុនដោយសារតែមានការយល់ទទួលស្គាល់នៅស្តង់ដារមួយចំនួនដូចគ្នារវាងប្រទេសបណ្ដាជាបណ្ដាសមាជិកនៃ RCEP ដែលជា Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement ហ្នឹងអញ្ចឹងនៅក្នុងហ្នឹងយើងឃើញថារាជរដ្ឋាភិបាលគាត់បានចូលរួមមួយចំនួនហើយប៉ុន្តែយើងឃើញថាមានបរិបត្តិខ្លះមានវិស័យខ្លះខាងវិស័យឯកជនហ្នឹងក៏គាត់បានផ្ដល់ជាសេវាកម្មនៅក្នុងការផ្ដល់ជាវិញ្ញាបនបត្រឬក៏ការបញ្ជាក់នៅស្តង់ដារគុណភាពហ្នឹងសម្រាប់មានការទទួលស្គាល់នៅក្នុងការធ្វើធុរកិច្ចរវាងគ្នានឹងគ្នាផងដែរអញ្ចឹងនៅក្នុងហ្នឹងជាសំណួរទី1ផ្ទាល់ដែលជាសំណួរគេហៅថាទូទៅដើម្បីជាឱកាសនៅក្នុងឲ្យវាគ្មិនរបស់យើងនៅក្នុងការណែនាំពីខ្លួនគាត់ក៏ដូចជាអង្គភាពគាត់ខ្លះដែរហ្នឹងអញ្ចឹងប្រហែលជាសំណួរជាទូទៅទី1ហ្នឹងគឺប្រហែលអង្គស្ខាសាលាទាំងមូលក៏ដូចជានាងខ្ញុំហ្នឹងក៏ចង់ដឹងដែរថាតើខាងអង្គភាពរបស់វាគ្មិនរបស់យើងហ្នឹងគាត់បានចូលរួមធ្វើសកម្មភាពអីខ្លះពាក់ព័ន្ធជាមួយនឹងការជំរុញនៃការធ្វើពាណិជ្ជកម្មនៅក្នុងការទទួលស្គាល់ស្តង់ដារដើម្បីជំរុញការនាំចេញនាំចូលហ្នឹងហើយពាក់ព័ន្ធជាមួយនឹងការកិច្ចការរបស់គាត់ធ្វើហ្នឹងគឺមានការគ្រប់គ្រងឬក៏មានបញ្ហាប្រឈមអ្វីខ្លះអញ្ចឹងអាចចាប់ផ្ដើមពីបងពុទ្ធីទៅមុន
Hello បាទអរគុណច្រើនបងហើយជាបឋមសូមគោរពជំរាបសួរដល់អាដាមលោកជំទាវអស់លោកលោកស្រីអ្នកនាងកញ្ញាទាំងអស់ក៏ដូចជាបងដែលមានវត្តមាននៅក្នុងថ្ងៃនេះខ្ញុំសូមណែនាំខ្លួនជាមុនសិនខ្ញុំបាទឈ្មោះជាវុធីហើយសប្តាហ៍ថ្ងៃជាសាវនករនៅក្រុមហ៊ុនឯកជនមួយគឺក្រុមហ៊ុន SGS Cambodia ដែលជាក្រុមហ៊ុនផ្ដល់នៅសេវាកម្មបណ្ដុះបណ្ដាលក៏ដូចជាផ្ដល់នៅវិញ្ញាបនបត្រសម្រាប់ក្រុមហ៊ុនអង្គភាពនានាដែលគាត់មានបំណងចង់ទទួលបានវិញ្ញាបនបត្របញ្ជាក់ពីប្រព័ន្ធគ្រប់គ្រងរបស់គាត់ ISO ដែលមានដូចជាស្តង់ដារ ISO 9001 ស្តង់ដារ ISO តាក់ទងជាមួយនឹងបរិស្ថាន environment ស្តង់ដារតាក់ទងជាមួយសុវត្ថិភាពចំណីអាហារ GHP HACCP មានជាស្តង់ដារច្រើនហើយក៏ដូចជាមានការធ្វើតេស្តហើយក្នុងនោះដែរក៏យើងជួយ support បន្ថែមទៀតសម្រាប់បងដែលគាត់អញ្ជើញមកពីសហគ្រាសតូចមធ្យមឬក៏ខ្នាតធំនានាដែលមានបំណងចង់នាំចេញហ្នឹងគឺយើងផ្ដល់ជាការវិតម្លៃដើម្បីផ្ដល់ជាវិញ្ញាបនបត្រនៅក្នុងក្រុមគេហៅថា Global Food Safety Initiative ឬក៏ GFSI បន្ថែមទៀតដែលនៅក្នុងនោះមានដូចជា BRC ហើយនិង FSC ជាដើមបាទហើយសម្រាប់អ្វីដែលវិស័យឯកជនក៏ដូចជាស្ថាប័ន SGS បានកំពុងធ្វើហើយនឹងបន្តធ្វើទៀតគឺយើងតែងតែធ្វើការផ្ដល់ជាព័ត៌មានក៏ដូចជាបណ្ដុះបណ្ដាលដល់ក្រុមហ៊ុនស្ថាប័ននានាហើយបច្ចុប្បន្ននេះយើងថ្មីយើងបានធ្វើការជាមួយនឹងស្ថាប័នមួយខាង Khmer Enterprise បន្ថែមទៀតដើម្បីជួយបណ្ដុះបណ្ដាលដល់បងដែលគាត់នៅខាងសហគ្រិនខ្នាតតូចដើម្បីគាត់បានយល់បន្ថែមអំពីអ្វីទៅជាស្តង់ដារអ្វីទៅជាលក្ខខណ្ឌតម្រូវដែលពួកគាត់ចង់ធ្វើបាទហ ហើយសម្រាប់សំណួរបន្តទៀតបន្តទៅហើយមក
ចាបងខ្ញុំអាច follow up ជាមួយបងប្រធានបន្តិចហើយមុននឹងខ្ញុំ pass ទៅវាគ្មិនផ្សេងៗគ្រាន់តែចង់ដឹងបញ្ជាក់ថាពេលដែលបងឲ្យវិញ្ញាបនបត្រពាក់ព័ន្ធជាមួយនឹងការបញ្ជាក់នៅលើគុណភាពទំនិញអីហ្នឹងគឺជាការទទួលស្គាល់ជាតម្រូវការនៃការបញ្ជាទិញរបស់អតិថិជននៅក្នុងវិស័យឯកជនឬក៏បែបណាវិញ
បាទអរគុណសម្រាប់សំណួរនេះល្អដែរតកតងជាមួយនឹងការផ្ដល់នៅវិញ្ញាបនបត្រតែពិតវាមានលក្ខខណ្ឌច្រើនបើសិនជាមែនទែនទៅការដែលក្រុមហ៊ុនដែលគាត់សម្រេចថាគាត់ចង់បាន certificate ISO ក្តី certificate វិញ្ញាបនបត្រខាង GFSI ណាក្តីកត្តាសំខាន់ហ្នឹងដំបូងមែនទែនទៅគឺចាប់ដើមពីខ្លួនគាត់ដោយសារគាត់ចង់បង្ហាញទៅអតិថិជនរបស់គាត់ថាក្រុមហ៊ុនរបស់គាត់មានលទ្ធភាពមានសមត្ថភាពមានស្តង់ដារអញ្ចឹងបើសិនជាយើងនិយាយអំពីវិស័យឯកជនឬក៏ buyer ជាផ្នែកមួយគេហៅថា supplier selection ឬក៏ supplier evaluation បើសិនបើយើងអត់មានអីបញ្ជាក់គេអញ្ចឹងបើយើងនិយាយពី step ដំបូងវាពិបាកផាសដូចជាបងទៅសម្ភាសការងារបើសិនជាប្រាប់ខ្លួនឯងថាខ្ញុំបញ្ញាបត្រប៉ុន្តែអត់មាន certificate បញ្ជាក់ផងអញ្ចឹងសួរថាការគេអាចជឿទុកចិត្តយ៉ាងម៉េចដូច្នេះជាជំហានដំបូងអានឹងគឺចាប់ដើមពីការស្វែងយល់ឬក៏ការដែលគាត់ aware ឬក៏គាត់ដឹងខ្លួនឯងថាគាត់ត្រូវធ្វើអីទី2ដូចបងបានលើកឡើងអញ្ចឹងដោយសារតែប្រទេសដែលពួកគាត់ចង់នាំចេញអញ្ចឹងបើសិនជាដូចសិក្ខាសាលារបស់យើងនេះតាក់ទងជាមួយ New Zealand Australia ក៏ដូចជាយើងបាននាំចេញទៅខាងសហភាពអឺរ៉ុបគឺគាត់នឹងប្រាប់ឲ្យថាវិញ្ញាបនបត្រស្តង់ដារសុវត្ថិភាពចំណីអាហារឬក៏ស្តង់ដារ ISO ណាមួយដែលគេតម្រូវត្រូវតែមានស្តង់ដារអ្វីខ្លះអញ្ចឹងបើកាលណាគាត់ស្វែងយល់ពី requirement ឬក៏លក្ខខណ្ឌតម្រូវដែលប្រទេសនោះចង់បានអញ្ចឹងគាត់ត្រូវតែទៅរក certificate នឹងមកក៏ដូចជាស្វែងរកស្ថាប័នណាដែលអាចផ្ដល់នៅវិញ្ញាបនបត្រនោះជូនគាត់បាទ
អរគុណបងអញ្ចឹងមានន័យថាវាជា voluntarily approach នៅក្នុងការគាត់ endorse ខ្លួនឯងឲ្យគេជឿទុកចិត្តនៅលើគុណភាពទំនិញហើយនិងសេវារបស់គាត់ហ្នឹងហើយក៏វាជា requirement របស់ប្រទេសខ្លះដែរដែលថាអូខេទំនិញហ្នឹងចេញទៅគឺចង់មានស្តង់ដារណាមួយបញ្ជាក់អីអញ្ចឹងទៅអូខេចាអញ្ចឹងនេះយើងនិយាយទូទៅខាងបងវិធីហើយពាក់ព័ន្ធជាមួយខាងស្មីគឺ specifically ជាមួយនៅខាង agriculture sector ត្រូវទេអញ្ចឹងអូនអាចជួយបញ្ជាក់ថែមមិនបន្តិចបានទេថា specifically សម្រាប់ agriculture ហ្នឹងវាបែបណាវិញ
ចាបងជាដំបូងសូមគោរពជំរាបសួរអាយដាមលោកជំទាវលោកស្រីអ្នកនាងកញ្ញាទាំងអស់គ្នាខ្ញុំឈ្មោះសុនច័ន្ទរស្មីមកពីខាង auditor ពីខាង control union ហើយនឹងខ្ញុំ specialist ទៅលើខាង agriculture និង food safety ដូចគ្នាតែសម្រាប់ certificate agriculture ដែលពួកយើងធ្វើការរាល់ថ្ងៃនេះយើងទទួលបាន accredited ពីខាង RVA ដែលមកពី Netherlands ហើយពួកយើងចុះទៅ audit ទៅលើ standard មានដូចជា EU organic standard EU ថ្មីដូចជា New EU អឺរ៉ុប2018/338ហ្នឹងក៏ពួកយើងអាចធ្វើបានហើយ standard USDA អាមេរិកដែលនាំចេញទំនិញ organic ទៅអាមេរិកក៏ពួកយើងអាចធ្វើបានហើយពួកខ្ញុំមាន standard ផ្សេងៗទៀតដូចជា standard organic ជប៉ុន standard organic កូរ៉េដូចគ្នាដែលពួកយើង audit ទៅលើ organic ហើយមួយទៀតហ្នឹងពួកយើងក៏មានដូចជា standard GI ថ្ងៃហ្នឹងយើងមានភ្ញៀវដែលយើងអាច audit ទៅលើ GI អាមេរិកចាកពត GI អាមេរិកហើយនឹងស្ករត្នោតនៅកំពង់ស្ពឺចា
សូមសួរបន្ថែមកន្លែងហ្នឹងបន្តិចរៀង technical aspect បន្តិចហ្នឹងចង់ដឹងថាពេលដែលយើងធ្វើ audit នៅលើ organic នៅលើអីហ្នឹងយើងធ្វើលក្ខណៈ supply chain from the ground មកឬក៏យើង what kind of data or what kind of assessment that you make to really confirm that
ចាបងចំពោះ standard organic ហ្នឹងគឺជា product certificate អញ្ចឹងយើងត្រូវមាន certificate តាំងពី production processing រហូតទៅដល់គាត់ trading ទៀតអញ្ចឹងពួកខ្ញុំអាចធ្វើបានទាំងអស់បងតាំងពី level farm រហូតដល់ level factory
អូខេអរគុណច្រើនតិចទៀតបងមកសួរថែមទៀតឲ្យមានចំនួនច្រើនអញ្ចឹងពាក់ព័ន្ធជាមួយនឹងស្រីទូចអញ្ចឹងដូចសួរអញ្ចឹងថា mostly not on goods or service for export ប៉ុន្តែ local construction standard អីអញ្ចឹងណាអញ្ចឹងអាចសុំដឹងបានទេថាពាក់ព័ន្ធជាមួយនឹង qualification check or quality check ហ្នឹង what is your scope of work mostly
អរគុណច្រើនបងជាដំបូងសូមគោរពជំរាបសួរអង្គពិធីទាំងមូលនាងខ្ញុំសុកស្រីទូចមកពីមន្ទីរពិសោធន៍គណៈវិស្វករកម្ពុជាដែលជាមន្ទីរពិសោធន៍តាក់ទងជាមួយនឹងវិស័យសំណង់អញ្ចឹងគិតថាអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាប្រកាសជាឆ្ងល់ហើយថាហេតុអីនៅទីនេះនិយាយតាក់ទងជាមួយនឹង food product ឬក៏ textile ប៉ុន្តែបែរជាមាន construction មកអង្គុយជាមួយអាចថាទាញចំណាប់អារម្មណ៍អ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាមកមើលវិញថាក្រៅពីការ focus ទៅលើ quality ឬក៏ safety របស់ product ដែលត្រៀមនៅក្នុងការនាំចេញកុំភ្លេចថា អ្នកដែលធ្វើការក៏ត្រូវការសុវត្ថិភាពកន្លែងដែលគាត់ធ្វើការ production ដែលកំពុង run ក៏ត្រូវការសុវត្ថិភាពនិង quality ដូចគ្នាតែកន្លែងដែលគាត់កំពុងតែធ្វើការហ្នឹងសាងសង់ត្រឹមត្រូវទៅតាម standard ណាមួយដែរឬទេប្រព័ន្ធ safety នៅក្នុងអាគារមិនថាជាប្រព័ន្ធភ្លើងប្រព័ន្ធបំពង់លុតអគ្គិភ័យផ្សេងតើគាត់បានសាងសង់ត្រឹមត្រូវឬទេហើយណាមួយទៀតតេតូនជាមួយនឹងការ accessibility ផ្សេងនៅក្នុងកន្លែងធ្វើការរបស់គាត់តើរៀបចំត្រឹមត្រូវតាមស្តង់ដារដែរឬទេចំណុចនេះគឺជាផ្នែកមួយដែលបងអូនគិតថា construction ក៏មានផ្នែកក៏មានផាតដែលចូលមកចែករំលែកនៅក្នុងនេះដែរហើយតេតូនជាមួយថាតើstandard ឬក៏កន្លងមកតើតេតូនជាមួយនឹងខាង laboratory បានចូលរួមចំណែកណាខ្លះគឺទី1គឺតេតូនជាមួយនឹងជា construction laboratory គឺយើងត្រូវតែទទួលបាននៅអនុលោមភាពពី ISO 17025ហើយខាងប្អូនគឺបានធ្វើការស្ម័គ្រចិត្តដោយសារតែតេតូនជាមួយនឹងយើងអត់ទាន់មាន G endorsement ឬក៏ regulation ណាមួយដែលនិយាយថា laboratory testing ត្រូវតែ go under ISO 17025ប៉ុន្តែគឺខាងក្រុមហ៊ុនបងអូនគឺស្ម័គ្រចិត្តយកដោយសារតែយើងជឿជាក់ថាសុវត្ថិភាពក៏ quality របស់សំណង់នៅក្នុងការប្រើប្រាស់គឺមានសារៈសំខាន់សម្រាប់អ្នករស់នៅអញ្ចឹងហើយយើងក៏បានធ្វើការសហការជាមួយនឹងខាង GDAC រយៈពេល3ឆ្នាំហើយដែលយើងបានធ្វើការទទួលនៅ accreditation នេះចា៎
សូម follow up បន្តិចពាក់ព័ន្ធជាមួយនឹង demand on the market ដោយសារនេះវាលក្ខណៈថា accreditation mandatory by law ឯងអញ្ចឹងភាគច្រើន demand ពី market ដែលយើងគេស្នើសុំឲ្យយើងធ្វើ provide certification ហ្នឹងជា residential building commercial building or what type of requirement ដែលគេត្រូវមកហៅយើងហ្នឹង
អូខេតេតូនជាមួយនឹង demand នៅលើ market វិញគឺខ្ញុំអាចនិយាយបានថាគឺនៅលើ market សឹងតែអត់មានអ្នកស្គាល់ថាតើ accreditation វាសំខាន់របៀបណាគឺបើនិយាយអំពីត្រឡប់ទៅនិយាយវិញថាតើនៅពេលដែលសាងសង់តើ material ដែលយកមកសាងសង់ហ្នឹងតម្រូវតែអត់ demand នៅលើទីផ្សារក៏អត់មានដែរអញ្ចឹងរាល់ថ្ងៃមិនថាការចូលមកធ្វើការ testing នៅ material ណាមួយដែលបានឧទាហរណ៍ថាដែកបេតុងស៊ីម៉ងចាស់ដែលយើងយកទៅធ្វើការសាងសង់គឺអត់មានទាន់មានច្បាប់ដែលតម្រូវថាត្រូវតែធ្វើការ testing ទេគ្រប់យ៉ាងគឺស្ថិតនៅក្នុងការ volunteer ទាំងអស់ចាអញ្ចឹងមកសួរវិញថាតើ accreditation នេះ17025ជា demand អត់គឺរឹតតែអត់ទៀតចា
Okay អរគុណច្រើន So Mercy I will pose the questions to you in English easier for both of us. So you are right in the point in the situation now because people keep talking about future export of textile product or garment manufacturing or everything when Trump imposed tariff and everything, and we're looking in RCEP as a new opportunity and as well as enhancement of the local quality for open the market beyond the US or so on. So with this, we just want to and I guess Better Factory has done a very great job in that. So I just want to know from your perspective, scope of work as well as the sector on how it helps boost trade and help in enhancing the quality of production in Cambodia.
Yep, thank you so much for this opportunity. I worked quite many years in the garment sourcing industry. So we actually witness how the product comply to international standard in the garment sector. And this was actually is a little bit different from all the other sector. We were talking this morning about this product, that product, this sector or that sector. Essentially, the garment sector, I think, is one of the most advanced, at least in Cambodia, for what concerns the compliance of the international certification, you can say, right? Because the sector was built and was born with the certification. When the very first factories in the 90s were set up, the buyers actually, the few buyers at that time, were facing quite a lot of troubles, saying, yes, okay, but the factory does not have the law compliance of hiring minors, for example, or having 8 hours work plus OT, etc., etc. So there was no law at that time. So the the buyer themselves requested the government of Cambodia and the international organization to set up a standard. And that standard was the Better Factory Cambodia. So from there on, I think 2001, from there on, all the factory had to comply with that. You want to export, you need to comply with the standard. And that was really made the difference up to today. Now, the BFC, Better Factory Cambodia, is a standard that certifies the activity, the process, the social responsibility of the factory, and the responsible business of the factory. They don't venture into product certification. They don't venture, so the garment, they have other certification. The garments are having other certification. The raw materials are having other certifications. They certify the factory, that the factory complies with the Cambodian law, with the international with the international standards that the buyer require, and that the factory has a certain standard well-being for the workers. So this is what they are doing. So it's a little bit of a one side of the sector that set up a very high quality for the competitivity outside. When the garments are being sold, they are being sold at par, apart from the price, but at par with China garments or Indonesia or other countries. So that's it.
Thank you for that. And I saw the microphone passing, so I'll come back with the follow-up. Oh, no. I will go to you first and then come with the follow-up question. So, Bong Dara, I saw the big announcement on the news today of Cambodian automobile industry of having the inauguration of Ford Assemble factory in Kraches. And we know that right now in Kraches, Posat, yes. Posat, they have the automobile hub itself that we have, Cambodian government have the vision. So with this, I just want to really understand kind of what is the scope of work or what have you done within your institution with regard to the standardizations of the automobile products?
Thank you a lot. Thanks for the questions. I would like to share some of the role of the Cambodia Automotive Industry Federation and what we are doing in terms of standard development and in terms of the trade facilitation and supporting the local industry to mature and then be able to produce the final product, mean the car to supply in the market and being exported in the future. First, I would like to introduce the role of the CAIF. Initially, we was founded as a group of authorized distributors to solve the issue, the challenges mostly relating to the used car importations for the parallel importers and fair competition, etc. in the market. And since 2011, we have registered at the Ministry of Interior. Until now, it's more than 10 years already. We're working on this ones. As for the local levels, CAIF is representing the automotive industry. Mostly specifically is only car, four-wheelers. Does not include three-wheelers, two-wheelers, or component sectors. And for the other representative, we work closely with the MISTI and also the ISE in developing the standards, the regulations. Because we as members of technical committee H on the automotive products, so we have the meeting regularly, and we also have the right to propose or reject on the standards that they raise from others member of the technical committees. On the regional level, we as a member of ASEAN Automotive Federations, that includes all 10 representative automotive industry from the 10 AMS, ASEAN member state, to work on these current standards and the new standards. Yeah, and also include the Japan side. Mostly we work with the Japanese Automobile Manufacturer Association, that we call JAMA. So we regularly work on the regulation, the standard to ensure that one country can produce vehicle and then can export to another countries. Because as you know that some country is more developed and some country is still in developing, like for example Cambodia, and Singapore is more developed country already. So whenever one country have very high requirement and one a very small requirement, so are not able to doing trade. So in the ASEAN, we have called the ASEAN MOA, Mutual Recognition Arrangement, that we have signed in 2016 to ensure that the standard is the same for all countries. Although one country is already have the national standard at very high, you have to trim it down to ensure that we can do a trade. Then Cambodia have signed in the agreements in 2016, and actually up to now the agreements still not implemented, not agree in ASEAN, because there are some countries still do not agree in some term, because in the agreements there are such called worst case scenarios. Then because in the agreement says is when vehicle come in, they got to test full vehicles. And then there's no stated that when they come in as part, one vehicle and then the part is come from a different country and different variants also, that the term is not in the agreement. So even right now, still not agreed to implement. But for Cambodia, we have worked closely with ISC, and then we start implementing step by step since 2020 for the 5 years plan 2020 until 2024, and now it's a fully implementation. Because this is, as a representative of industry, we work closely with ISC and then to ensure that the standard is complied with or follow the regional standard level, and then ensure that all the company in Cambodia, they can apply and then can sell vehicle in the country. This is our role. So.
I have follow-up. Oh, you want to add something, Bong? Okay. I have 2 follow-up questions. I'm sorry with the mixing of the language because we have quite an international panel. So, okay if I stick with English. So the one question is, we know that for the automobile industry, you have the manufacturing of a lot of spare parts from different countries, and in the current stage that Cambodia is in now is assembled only. We're not going through the process of end-to-end process yet. So just for the general understanding of whether there is how can we verify the spare part. The spare part itself need to meet with the international standard too to really compact and assemble, or what? This is the first question. The second question is, in the international trade world, there is a trade war, we can say, or competition in EV now, which is very high advanced, meaning that the technology keep advancing so high. So I just want to understand how does the international standard or the standard certification really chase after those kind of fast development?
In terms of the question number 1 is about the spare part. Actually, the investor in Cambodia, you can see, is mostly like international company. For example, like Denso, Minor Beer is all Japanese. Actually, it's just expansion when they have the plant in Thailand, and then now they expand to Cambodia, to Vietnam, or to Malaysia. So the requirement, actually, they knew very well what the requirement is. Requirement for the export from Cambodia. Although, as you know, Cambodia is very small and we produce very small units. But actually, the standard, everything they know already. Same thing to vehicle. Again, when, for example, one brand, when we want to order car from Thailand or from Japan or from Indonesia, before they deliver vehicle to Cambodia, they ask questions like, what is the requirement in your country? And then after that, we submitted the requirement that, for example, one brand, they got the approval from ISC, and then we submit those certification to the manufacturing, and then they will release the vehicle for us. Without receiving the approved certifications, they won't release vehicle. Even we order with number, we paid money, everything. Yeah. So for the part right now is not difficult because it invested by big firm, big international companies. So now we don't have issue. Yeah. The second question regarding to EV, As you know that Cambodia, we assemble vehicle for supply in local markets. We not export vehicle out. So right now for exporting, we not focusing on only importing. One is importing is second, this standard development is used to protect the local industry. Yeah. Right now, actually, we are accepting a standard, international standard, regional standard, but for Cambodia, ourselves, we don't have the standard. Even we have the standard right now, it cannot be implemented fully because one ministry implement, another one, for example, like custom, they don't implement. So now we can see that a lot of Chinese vehicles flooding to Cambodia. Yeah. There's actually inconsistent implementation between MISTI and also OC and Custom Department. They need to work together to ensure that they cannot allow free flow the Chinese EV to Cambodia like that. So we need to find way to reduce the number of import, and then we can strengthen or mature our local industry. Yeah, for the EV. Yeah. So the case for export, so far we don't plan for export, but I can see that now BYD, they start opening the factory in Cambodia. Actually, it's just for expansion first. Second is just for testings for local to supply for local buyers first. So if the trade war change, if China is still over 100 and Cambodia is just 10% for the tax tariff to export to China, I believe the Chinese company will come to Cambodia to open the factory for export.
So coming back to Masi, with regards to better factories, because mostly we've seen the work better much on garment factory, which is the major sector in Cambodia in terms of factory or production. So just want to understand on how have better factory really expand or consider the scope of work beyond the garment factory, meaning other sectoral production like food chain production and so on. And because from our understanding, like you mentioned, including the labor law, it's since 1997, and it pretty much touch upon to serve the market, to serve the garment factory, but sometimes it's not really fit with the other sector in terms of seasonal workers or in terms of shifting worker, tourism sector and so on. So just want to know how better factory really help in accommodate these to other sector wide.
I guess that the labor law, the way it's today, it's probably structure not exactly for the garments, but a structure for the manufacturers, general manufacturers. Because if a worker will have to work 8 hours plus OT, this is valid for the garment sector as well as for the automotive sector. It might not be valid for the tourism sector. In a hotel, you might be required to work longer hours, okay? Or different timings of the hours without OT, stuff like that. So it's more for the manufacturer. So I would say that the law required some additional chapters where there will be more consideration for different needs of different sectors. But as of now, I think the garment law for manufacturing in Cambodia is quite good. The problem is that the other sectors, such as food processing or any other sector, transport, for example, or the logistics sector, etc., did not started their operation with the enforcement of the labor law. So the garment started, the car of the garment started with the right wheels, and the other cars of the other sectors are running with the different pair of wheels, and now you have to change the wheels of the car while the car is running. And that is an issue because the royal government of Cambodia, from one side, does not want to disrupt the industrial activity, and on another side, the government of Cambodia has some duty to extend to the workers and the citizens to give them more protection or more well-being. It has to be done in a sensible way, but in my opinion, it has to be done sooner or later. I mean, working all together with the experience of people like Better Factory Cambodia can be helpful. But it's necessary, a process that will involve also, more cost. That's inevitable, and we need to deal with it. But the same way that Cambodia will deal with it, also Vietnam is doing the same. Thailand, to a certain extent, has done it many, many years ago, because in Thailand, manufacturing is very well developed. In Vietnam, they are doing it now with quite some difficulties, but they're doing it. So at the end of the day, Cambodia will just have to compete at par with everybody, so no matter how much the costs might rise. Thank you.
Thank you for a very interesting question. So for Sraitu, I may pose the question in Khmer, or you want English the same? Anything? Okay, let's stick with English, otherwise we're gonna shift a lot. So Sraitu, just you mentioned earlier saying that there were certain standards, it's not mandatory, but your company is willing to really enter into that market. So even with less demand. So that's why we just want to understand why your company choose to do that. And the second question as well is we understand that by the new law on construction, when you apply for the construction permit, you need to really having the compliance certificate upfront on your plan and everything, and then, but the standard that you're providing is more on that. It's just on the construction material and everything. So to some extent, how do you see this kind of practice in the countries in region? And how come it helped Cambodia with the construction sector or other sector? How come it helped the economy?
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, actually it's a big question. Okay, even it's not a mandatory. As my company is like volunteer to practice this kind of because like originally my company is from Singapore, so over there we have the regulation that everyone have to follow. So to be testing laboratory, of course you have to go through under accreditation. So we want to be the first one who start a first step. It's not just like an example, but if no one start a first step, so we still lag behind other. So yeah, of course, so we think that we should start now. So we even the government, I don't say the word that they don't pay my attention, but I think it's still sooner or later they will put this attention into consideration. But because like we want to be a small part to start from a small company, so that's why we think that quality and safety is very, very important. That somehow the contractor or the developer, they just more focus on the financial investment. Besides, what is the effect if the investment without consideration of safety and quality? So I think if everyone put more attention on this part, not just only about money, but money and also come together with safety and quality. So this will be an important role to move our to try Cambodia to be a better country like other in the regions. And
The second question, just want to, you said your company is from Singapore, so we just want to understand how this type of accreditation help with the construction sector or any other sector that it can fit.
Okay, maybe I can take just a small example. It also related with to this food industry also, because like when you want to create something, you all have any ingredient you need to weight. So how sure you know that 1 gram is 1 gram, 1 kg, 1 kg. So of course the scale that you use, you need to go for calibration. But the people in that industry maybe just think that, okay, calibration in that weighing scale that you're using is enough. But actually, you have to go further, that the equipment that you use to calibrate that weighing scale, is it calibrated? Because you cannot just say that, okay, I calibrated, but the reference material that you use to calibration is not even calibrated. So the traceability of this accuracy, we have to put in consideration. Yeah. So if we, okay, I forgot another question. I'm sorry.
It's okay, it's okay. We understand that your purpose of coming in is to really bring something new to really help Cambodia and to really keep Cambodia being standardized and the par level with the neighboring countries.
Okay, maybe I want to add a little bit, because I think that mostly because we're not talking about like high-rise building, we only like factory, just 1 or 2 floor building for the worker to work and produce the product to export, something like that. But I just want to highlight that even though it's just 1 story or 2 story, but it still have to be considered about safety. Especially, we have the construction law that stated about non-residential or residential building that you need to go through regularly monitoring. For example, like non-residential, at least 5 years, 1 time you need to go for monitoring. And for residential, we go like 10 years, something like that. So previously, from my company that we can serve to the client that working in garment factory is like we go for building inspection. We survey, we do visual inspection on electrical inspection or wire fighting inspection to ensure that the building is in a safe condition for the worker to work. Yeah.
Thank you. Smai. So just want to have, I have a lot of questions in your sector as well, because it seems like you have done a lot of good work to really help boosting export of cashew nut, and as well as the rice and the pepper. Yes. Pepper is very good. So just want to understand what is the challenges that you have faced so far on verifying or auditing those kind of quality, because as I understand, some farm they do the contract farming too. They do not control the whole process from A to Z by themselves. They contract out to farmer. It's part of the social impact as well. But how can you assure another layer of a contract like this on the compliance? And the second thing is recently we have the food safety law that we regulate farm to table aspect. So with this, I know that you cover the agricultural part only. So just want to understand on what are the gaps or challenges we have in terms of your area, and what are the things that you see as a best practice to really help making your kind of work easier, or help encouraging all of the farmers to follow the process for getting the accreditation better.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for the question. Regarding the issues that we're working that with the farmer, mostly they could not keep the record. Like EU organic or USDA not even if the organic or agriculture standard, it will be less document than food safety, but still have some document. During we visit for the first year, initial year, we will give them the recommendation. We will not raise them the non-compliant first. So we just want them to identify, record the harvest season, record the chemical that they use, record the like the real practice harvest record as well, like how many kilogram that they gather like per year. But after follow up the visit surveillance audit, we still don't get anything from them. Yeah, this is because of farmers. Sometimes they don't like recording. They said that they already remember it, but according to the standard, they need to have the record. So yes, mostly we will raise them the NC. So after that, maybe the cooperative which is signed the contract with them, maybe remove them from the farmer group or something like this. This is the difficult thing that we found. But also for the chemical using as well, they will be not using the chemical as they produce the conversion. But they know like they know that during the testing, we will not testing for the heavy metal. We will test only for pesticide or herbicide. So they will use the fertilizer like to increase the yield, yeah, production yield for them. Because this is we cannot testing yet. Like we cannot test. We can test, but it's very expensive for them. Like one sample only testing for pesticide and herbicide already 350. If we add another fertilizer, it will be like around 600 USD per sample. And according to new EU, we will test 2% of the sample from total farmer. So it will be a lot for them as well. Yes.
Okay. That leads me to another question to Bong Vuthi on the costing aspect. Yeah. Because we're just discussing that the STRACAP project, we're trying to standardize, but for the aim is market access and free trade. But the point in the Cambodian market landscape, we have a lot of SME as manufacturer and so on. So I'm not sure whether in the ecology that we have right now in our manufacturing sector or production sector, really, if they want to comply all of the standard, do you think it's kind of any challenge for them in terms of cost and convenience, and as well as your process of verifying and auditing? What are the things that you think that need certain kind of requirement or support from the government?
Okay, Bong, thank you so much for your question. Regarding with the costing or the challenge for not only SME but every company, every private sector, when it's come to the topic about implementation, of course, it is a debate between the expense of operation and expense of certification. Because in order to get the certificate, of course, we need to comply with each and every requirement. And those requirements, we need to spend the money, in short. For example, let's talk about the calibration. If we talk about the implementation, the calibration, if the requirement or if the export country, they ask you to calibrate with the lab, with the accreditation, so how much will it cost? Lab, final product testing, how much will it cost? And even equipment, if they mention, for example, if go to the GFSI or Global Food Safety, they said, all the equipment, you need to have the certification, you need to ensure that those equipment are food grade. So if we bought from market just a normal pipe, are we going to comply or not? So those are the thing that we can say it's a lot of things that we need to do, that because of that some SME they face a lot of challenge with the budget. The thing is, if the government or if there is any private sector or none, we can say organization, government, they can support some kind of fund for them. It could be helpful for them because sometimes they want to do it, but because of they lack of budget, so maybe they give up. So which means the chance of exporting, of course we have good product. I can say during the audit, during the verification, of course we have the good quality of product, but the thing is because of the budget, the money that we spend is not equivalent to what we get back. So some SME, maybe they give up on that. And another challenge, I can say, beside of the money or the budget I spend, the challenge for SME or for all business sector is about the regulation also. This is one of the things. For example, if we're talking about product specification, if we're talking about product testing guideline, sometimes it's difficult for them to find the source to get those information. The spec of the finished product, what does it look like? The spec of chemical, the spec of pathogen. So for me, it would be great if we have a central hub for those information. For example, just one click on the website, one click on every application, so then they can get those information. Because for me, the challenge when I go to the audit, when we come up to verify the document, of course, when we audit for ISO standard or any kind of standard, most of the requirements are generic. So the requirement basically based on the country regulation. So if the country regulation are not so clear, not so specific or difficult to find, of course, it's going to be a lot of challenge for them. Let me give you another example for labeling. When we're talking about labeling, of course, our regulation also established we need to have the origin of the product, manufacturing date, expire, nutrition. But how about allergen? This is also one of the things because, for example, if we export our product to, let's say, agriculture product or food product to another country and we did not expose what are the allergen ingredients on our product, who's going to impact? Of course, they will reject, they will recall, and our product, if it's, let's say, make a high risk impact to their country, maybe they ban the product or ban the country. So this is also one of the things. If we have a central hub, let's say, I want to export to Australia, EU. What are the requirements? So those SME just download with the pack and then just send to auditor, and then auditor just audit according to those requirements. We don't need to spend time checking this and that. Yeah, so it took a lot of time. Yeah.
So it means that information is very important, yes, for that stake. So we have 1 hour for the discussion. I have 45 minutes for the question. I know that I have around 5 more minutes, but if I go another round, I cannot stop myself. So I would open the floor for for our participant here to ask question first. And yes, if you have, okay, we have the hand back there, and you can identify. You can introduce yourself and pose the question, and identify which panelist you want to pose the question to.
ជំរាបសួរខ្ញុំ
ចាបងជំរាបសួរ
វ៉ុនបណ្ណាជាប្រធានសមាគមអ្នកនាំចេញនាំចូលម្ហូបអាហារកម្ពុជាជា advisor របស់សហព័ន្ធអាមេរិកនិងគ្រឿងទេសកម្ពុជាហើយជា former executive director របស់សហព័ន្ធអាមេរិកគ្រឿងទេសកម្ពុជាខ្ញុំសួរទៅ certified body 2មាន SGS ហើយនិង control union yes ដោយសារ challenge ដែលយើងធ្លាប់ជួបដូចបងទាំងពីរមានប្រសាសន៍អញ្ចឹងរឿងទី1ពាក់ព័ន្ធនឹង organic ពី control union រឿងទី2ពាក់ព័ន្ធនឹង food grade យ៉ាអញ្ចឹងពីយើងលើកកម្ពស់ឬជួយសម្រួលពាក់ព័ន្ធនឹងការនាំចេញអញ្ចឹងដើម្បីឲ្យការនាំចេញរបស់យើងទៅវាមានរឿងច្រើននៅក្នុងរូបភាព export readiness ប៉ុន្តែអ្វីដែលយើងមើលឃើញគឺ food grade packaging អញ្ចឹងពីហ្នឹងសំណួរទៅ AGS តើធ្វើម៉េចដើម្បី ensure ថា food grade packaging ឬ technology ហ្នឹងវា in place in Cambodia កំឡុងពេលឥឡូវយើង sourcing ពីវៀតណាមហើយពីច្រើនគឺទៅចិនអញ្ចឹងណាអញ្ចឹងដែលធ្វើឲ្យ cost of production របស់ផលិតផលរបស់យើងវា automatically high ទោះបីយើងមាន RCEP ក៏ដោយយើងចាញ់គេហើយទី2សួរទៅបងខាង control union ជាក់ស្ដែងកសិកររបស់យើងដែលគាត់ apply organic គឺមាន group ដោយសារកសិករ organic គឺទិញលក់មានថាផលិតរួមលក់រួមអញ្ចឹងអ្នកណាដែលគាត់ apply ខុស automatic ត្រូវដកចេញហើយរយៈពេលប្រហែលឆ្នាំក្រោយទៀតទើបយើងត្រូវដាក់គាត់ចូលមកវិញនៅពេលដែលគាត់លាងខ្លួនគាត់ស្អាតហើយអញ្ចឹងណាប៉ុន្តែពីយើងសួរទៅវិញតើជាយុទ្ធសាស្ត្ររបស់យុទ្ធ control union ដោយសារសហព័ន្ធយើងមានយុទ្ធសាស្ត្រមួយធ្វើម៉េចពង្រឹង organic របស់យើងជាយុទ្ធសាស្ត្រនៅក្នុងការឲ្យកម្ពុជាជាមានថាយើង differentiate យុទ្ធសាស្ត្រ between វៀតណាមនិងកម្ពុជា កំឡុងពេលវៀតណាមគេអនុវត្ត mass production យើងមិនអាចធ្វើ mass production បានទេយើងត្រូវធ្វើ organic អញ្ចឹងជាយុទ្ធសាស្ត្រ control union ខ្លួនឯងដើម្បីឲ្យអា organic production កើនឡើងអតិថិជនខ្លួនឯងកើនឡើងដែរតែយើងធ្វើមិនខ្ញុំមាន2សំណួរអរគុណ
ខ្ញុំមិនចាំបាច់ repeat សំណួរទេណាឆ្លើយយកហ្មងអញ្ចឹងបងមិនគាត់សួរទៅបងប្រធីមុនត្រូវទេអូខេបង
អរគុណច្រើនបងសម្រាប់សំណួរពាក់ព័ន្ធជាមួយនឹង food grade តែជាក់ស្ដែងទៅពាក់ព័ន្ធជាមួយបញ្ហា packaging នេះបើយើងនិយាយពី packaging អ្វីដែលខ្ញុំធ្លាប់បាន audit ជួបកន្លងមកជាមួយនឹងខាងស្ថាប័នដែលគាត់ផលិត packaging ដែរវាមានមតិយោបល់ខុសៗគ្នាក្រុមចាក់ខ្លះគាត់និយាយថា costing នៅពេលផលិត packaging ក្នុងស្រុកថ្លៃជាងនាំចូលវិញពីព្រោះអីដោយសារតែគាត់ត្រូវនាំចូលវត្ថុធាតុដើមពីក្រៅមកយកមកផលិតតទៀតអញ្ចឹងតម្លៃថ្លៃវិញអញ្ចឹងហើយទើបធ្វើឲ្យពួកគាត់ទិញនាំចូលពីប្រទេសវៀតណាមឬក៏ប្រទេសចិនដោយសារឲ្យមួយវិញទៀតប្រទេសវៀតណាមប្រទេសចិនបើកាលណាយើងទិញកាន់តែច្រើនតម្លៃវាកាន់តែទាបជាងនឹងទៀតអញ្ចឹងទៅហើយជាធម្មតាតាក់ទងជាមួយនឹងការធ្វើម៉េច ensure ទៅលើ food grade or not ដំបូងខ្ញុំគិតថាអ្វីដែលចាប់ដើមដំបូងជាធម្មតាដូចលើកឡើងអញ្ចឹង regulation របស់យើងបើសិនជាយើងបាននិយាយពីរឿងនឹងច្បាស់ជាធម្មតាបើសិនជាយើងជាអ្នកអនុវត្តជាស្ថាប័នឯកជនក៏ដូចជាស្ថាប័នណាមួយក៏ដោយយើងត្រូវតែធ្វើទៅតាម regulation ហើយខ្ញុំជឿថាខាង food grade ខ្ញុំធ្លាប់ឃើញ report មួយខាងក្រសួងយើងក៏មានដែរមានតេស្តដែរដូចខាងទឹកសុទ្ធសុំទោសណាខ្ញុំនិយាយឈ្មោះតិចខាងទឹកសុទ្ធនិយាយបានទេអត់ទេណាអូខេចឹងខ្ញុំសុំអត់និយាយណាខ្ញុំសុំអត់និយាយបាទទឹកសុទ្ធនៅក្នុងស្រុករបស់យើងមួយគាត់ផលិតគាត់ផ្លុំម៉ូខ្លួនឯងគាត់ផលិតគាត់ទិញ racing ខ្លួនឯងគាត់ធ្វើ preform គាត់ផ្លុំខ្លួនឯងហើយគាត់យកអា plastic ហ្នឹងយកទៅធ្វើតេស្តនៅក្រសួងយើងបញ្ជាក់ហ្មងថា parameter ទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងវា comply ជាមួយនឹង food grade បាទអញ្ចឹងអាហ្នឹងយើងមាន regulation ហ្នឹង so why not បើសិនជាយើងទិញមកជា part មួយនៅក្នុង standard បើសិនជាយើងនិយាយ standard ក៏យើងនិយាយពី packaging material ដែរក្នុង GHP HACCP ក៏គេនិយាយដែរបាទ ISO ក៏គេនិយាយដែរអញ្ចឹងយើងយក material ជាធម្មតាជា part នៃការ sourcing supplier យើងក៏ត្រូវសួរដែរថាបងមាន certificate អត់ក្រុមហ៊ុនរោងចក្រហ្នឹងមាន certificate អត់ហើយជាធម្មតាដោយសារខ្ញុំនៅក្នុងវិស័យ packaging ហ្នឹងដែរគ្រប់រោងចក្របើសិនជាយើងទៅរកឧទាហរណ៍ Alibaba ធម្មតាគឺគេត្រូវមានហើយពីព្រោះអីពួកគាត់ក៏ជាអ្នកនាំចេញទៅសហគមន៍អឺរ៉ុបអីពាក់ព័ន្ធដែរអញ្ចឹងបើសិនជាយើងសុំគាត់ដល់តែគាត់ឲ្យឯអាហ្នឹងជាផានមួយបើសិនជាគាត់អត់មានហេតុអីបើយើងត្រូវទិញពីគាត់អាហ្នឹងឯងដែលយើងត្រូវសួរខ្លួនឯងវិញថាតើយើងដឹងពីតម្រូវការអត់ហើយពេលដែលយើងទិញយើងគិតតែពីតម្លៃថោកឬមួយក៏យើងគិតទៅលើ compliance ជាមួយនឹង safety ទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងដែរអញ្ចឹងយើងចាប់ផ្ដើមទិញមកហើយបើសិនជាបងថាខ្ញុំអត់សូវប្រកបទេតិច supply យើងហ្នឹងគាត់ fraud ទៅគាត់បន្លំទៅអញ្ចឹងយើងមាន lab យើងមាន regulation របស់យើងដែរយើងយក material ដែលយើងទិញហ្នឹងយកទៅ confirm annually ជាមួយនឹងឬក៏រៀងរាល់ shipment ដែលទទួលមក confirm ជាមួយនឹងក្រសួងរបស់យើងបន្ថែមទៀតទៅគឺ comply បាត់ហើយអាហ្នឹងយើងអាចកាត់បន្ថយ risk បានមួយចំនួនធំអានេះអីដែលខ្ញុំអាចឆ្លើយជូនបងបានណាបងបាទអរគុណច្រើន
ចាអញ្ជើញអូនស្មា
ចាបងតកតងមួយយុទ្ធសាស្ត្ររបស់ខាង Control Union ដែលព្យាយាមរក្សាភ្ញៀវ organic វិញបងភាគច្រើនពួកយើងមើលទៅលើហានិភ័យដែលយើងជួបពេលយើងចុះទៅ audit ដែរបើដូចពេលខ្លះដូចកសិករគាត់បានកត់ត្រាអីតិចតួចចឹងហ្នឹងយើងឲ្យខាង ICS គាត់ព្យាយាមតាមគាត់នឹងរហូតទៅតាមកសិករម្នាក់នឹងមួយពីរនាក់ហ្នឹងឲ្យគាត់ធ្វើឲ្យត្រូវតាមស្តង់ដារតែបើសិនជាចំពោះកសិករណាដូចហានិភ័យខ្លាំងដូចគាត់ប្រើប្រាស់ជីគីមីឬមួយក៏ detect នៅក្នុងសំណាកហ្នឹងអាហ្នឹងយើងត្រូវតែសុំដកគាត់ចេញហើយព្រោះអីគាត់ខ្លាចគាត់នឹង affect ទៅដល់ lot គេផ្សេងទៀតដែរត្រូវឲ្យខាងបងសមាគមហ្នឹងត្រូវពិបាកតាមក្រោយទៀតអញ្ចឹងក៏យើងត្រូវមើលតាម reason ដែរបងថាគួរដកគាត់ចេញហ្មងឬមួយក៏ឲ្យគាត់ជា NC ដើម្បីគាត់កែប្រែសម្រាប់ឆ្នាំក្រោយទៀតចាអរគុណ
ចាបងខ្ញុំសង្ឃឹមថាបងទទួលបានចម្លើយឬបានបងបានអញ្ជើញ
បាទសុំ follow up question មួយពាក់ព័ន្ធនឹង control union ចាខ្ញុំទៅវៀតណាមយើងទៅ validate យុទ្ធសាស្ត្ររបស់ខ្មែររវាងអាមេរិកខ្មែរនិងវៀតណាមយើងឃើញថាចការ organic របស់វៀតណាមគេមានថ្នាំ organic ច្រើនយើងអត់មានទេយើងចាក់ស្ដែងទៅ audit នៅមណ្ឌលគិរីយើងអត់មានថ្នាំ organic ទេអញ្ចឹងអាហ្នឹងជាបញ្ហាមួយដែលចការយើងនៅពេលដែលជួបប្រទះសត្វល្អិតឬមានបញ្ហាជំងឺយើងចាញ់គេហ្មងទី2buyer មានថាអាចថា organic certification body របស់យើង control union នៅវៀតណាមអាច release potential buyer ដែល buy organic ហ្មងមានថាអូនេះទៅវិស័យឯកជនដែលគាត់លក់ឬអាស៊ីមិចនេះជាសហគ្រាសឬដែលគាត់ត្រូវការទិញ organic ប៉ុន្តែនៅនេះយើងបាក់ខ្ញុំ work ជាមួយ Dilum ខ្ញុំថាមានឲ្យនោះ potential buyer organic មកដើម្បីឲ្យយើងទី1យើងមានលទ្ធភាពពង្រីកសក្តានុពល organic ទី2យើងមាន potential buyer តល organic ពិបាកធ្វើអញ្ចឹងអ្នកដែល apply organic គឺច្បាស់ហ្មងថានេះគឺ validate buyer អញ្ចឹងណា
បងតេតតមួយការប្រើប្រាស់ថ្នាំ G organic អាហ្នឹងយើងអាចប្រើប្រាស់បានបងឲ្យតា ingredient ដែលបងប្រើហ្នឹងនៅក្នុង approve list របស់ standard EU ឬមួយក៏នៅក្នុង approve list របស់ standard USDA NOP អត់ចាំបាច់ត្រូវ combine G ទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងឲ្យ certify មួយទៀតថា G នឹង organic គេឲ្យតែបងប្រើ ingredient ដែលនៅក្នុង approve list ហ្នឹងយើងអាចឲ្យបងប្រើដើម្បីបាញ់ទៅលើថ្នាំសត្វល្អិតបានតែបើប្រើ G គីមីហ្មងអានឹងអត់បានទេបងតែបើធម្មជាតិរបស់ធម្មជាតិដូចបងយកមកកូរចូលគ្នាហើយយកទៅបាញ់អានឹងអាចប្រើបានបងចាអញ្ចឹងចំពោះសំណួរទី2បងតេតតងមួយការហៅ buyer ណាបងចាដោយសារនៅខ្មែរយើងទូចមែនបងពួកខ្ញុំ audit ភាគច្រើនហ្នឹងតា farm មេអត់សូវមាន audit buyer នៅខ្មែរយើងដល់ពេលអញ្ចឹងទៅបាន Dilum បានពួក manager ខ្ញុំផ្សេងដែលគាត់ស្គាល់គ្នានៅវៀតណាមឬមួយនៅថៃហ្នឹងគាត់ចេះតែតម្លាក់មកថាត្រូវការទិញម្រេចតែដល់ពេលឲ្យពួកយើងព្យាយាមណែនាំ client យើងទៅរហូតបង client ដែលនៅកម្ពុជាហ្នឹងតែពួកគាត់ថាគាត់អត់ទិញវិញដោយសារគាត់ទៅរកពីខាងស្រីលង្កាខាងវៀតណាមខាងថៃអីវិញដែរបងតែពួកខ្ញុំព្យាយាមចូលគាត់ដែរថានៅខ្មែរមាន organic ដែរអត់ប្រើអីសោះដែរមានទទួលបាន certificate ពីខាងពួកខ្ញុំតែនៅតែពិបាកបញ្ចូលបងដោយសារយើងអត់សូវមាន buyer
ចាបងអញ្ចឹងមានអូខេបងស្រីនៅកណ្ដាល
ចាអរគុណនាងខ្ញុំឈ្មោះចិនកេសរជាប្រធាននាយកដ្ឋានអវត្តសណ្ដាតបណ្ដុះបណ្ដាលពិគ្រោះច្បាល់នៃវិទ្យាសាស្ត្រសាស្ត្រកម្ពុជាចាសំណួរខ្ញុំទី1គឺពាក់ព័ន្ធទៅនឹងកញ្ញាសុនចាន់ស្មីហើយនឹងសំណួរទី2គឺ Rest to Mr. Massimiliano Tropino អញ្ចឹងពាក់ព័ន្ធទៅនឹងកញ្ញាសុនចាន់ស្មីខ្ញុំមានសំណួរសួរថាតើដោយសារបងអូនប្រាប់ថាជាអង្គភាពជាកន្លែងដែលយើងចុះ audit ពាក់ព័ន្ធទៅនឹង organic សំណួររបស់ខ្ញុំទី1សួរថាតើអង្គភាពរបស់បងអូនបាន accredit មកពីណាដែរចា៎សំណួរទី2ខ្ញុំចង់សួរថាតើសប្តាហ៍ថ្ងៃក្នុងការអនុវត្តហ្នឹងណាតើមានបញ្ហាប្រឈមអីខ្លះដោយសារខ្ញុំជាអង្គភាពស្តង់ដារជាតិយើងអត់ទាន់មានបានធ្វើស្តង់ដារផ្នែក organic ទេអញ្ចឹងខ្ញុំស្ដាប់ព័ត៌មានរបស់បងអូនសប្តាហ៍មិញខ្ញុំក៏មានចំណាប់អារម្មណ៍ដែរតើបើសិនតែយើងចង់ធ្វើសង្ដារ organic ហ្នឹងតើខាងខ្ញុំអាចមានបញ្ហាតែខ្ញុំចង់ដឹងថាតើឥឡូវហ្នឹងបញ្ហាប្រឈមដែលខាងបងអូនរាល់ថ្ងៃជួបប្រទះជាពិសេសហ្នឹងតើផ្អើកលើបញ្ហាខ្លះចាពីសំណួរហ្នឹងសិន
ចាអរគុណច្រើនបងចំពោះ accredited ពីខាងពួកខ្ញុំ standard organic យើងមាន3 EU NOP ហើយនិង JAS សម្រាប់ EU យើងទទួលបាន accredited ពី RVA បងនៅខាង Netherlands ដល់ពេល USDA NOP យើងទទួលបាន accredited ពីក្រសួងកសិកម្មរបស់អាមេរិកហ្មងតែដល់ពេលជប៉ុនយើងក៏ទទួលបានពី Ministry របស់ជប៉ុនដែរតែមិន CU Cambodia Control Union Cambodia អ្នកទទួលទេយើងមាន critical office មួយទៀតនៅស្រីលង្កានៅឥណ្ឌូនេស៊ីពួកគាត់នឹងជាអ្នកទៅ audit ផ្ទាល់មួយខាង accredited ហ្មងចាដល់ពេលហើយទៅបានពួកគាត់ឲ្យពួកខ្ញុំដែលជា L3 office ហ្នឹងគ្រាន់តែជា auditor ឯងតែពួកគាត់ដែលនៅស្រីលង្កាឬមួយក៏នៅឥណ្ឌូនេស៊ីហ្នឹងគាត់ជាអ្នក make decision ទៅលើ report របស់ auditor ថា auditor ចុះទៅជួបអីខ្លះមាន NC បែបនេះគួរតែឲ្យសញ្ញាបត្រមកខាងបច្ចេកនឹងឬមួយក៏អត់
ចាចុះសំណួរទី2អូន
ចាបងសំណួរទី2តកតងមួយបញ្ហាដែលពួកខ្ញុំជួបមួយ accredited មែនបង
ចាបញ្ហាដែលពួកខាងបងអូនជួបជាមួយនឹងពាក់ព័ន្ធទៅនឹងការចេញ certificate organic ហ្នឹងតើរងថ្ងៃហ្នឹងទៅបញ្ហាអីខ្លះដែលបងអូនគិតថាជាបញ្ហាប្រឈមដែលលំបាកសម្រាប់អង្គភាពរបស់បងអូន
ចាបងសម្រាប់រងថ្ងៃហ្នឹងដែលយើងពិបាកខ្លាំងផុតហ្នឹងគឺ requirement គាត់រៀងតឹងពេកទាំង EU ទាំង NOP អីហ្នឹងគាត់ចេញមកតឹងបើសិនជានៅថៃឬមួយនៅវៀតណាម auditor ផ្សេងៗដែលពួកគាត់ audit ហ្នឹងមកនិយាយមកកសិករគាត់អាច follow បានសឹងតាម 100% តែសម្រាប់កសិករដែលគាត់នៅខ្មែរយើងវិញគាត់រៀងពិបាក follow តាមពួកអីតាំងពីរឿង testing ការចំណាយកាលមុនធ្លាប់ testing តាដូច1000កសិករអញ្ចឹង testing តែ3នាក់ក៏គ្រប់ដែរតែឥឡូវ update standard ថ្មីទៅជាតឹងរឹងជាងមុនទៀតក្នុងចំណោម100នាក់ testing ឡើងចង់20នាក់អីចឹងទៅតម្លៃគុណតាមនឹងច្រើនបងហើយមួយទៀតហ្នឹងគឺ standard EU ហ្នឹងតម្រូវឲ្យកាលមុនពួកហងចាក់បងពួកខាងហងចាក់ខាងអ្នកកិនស្រូវអីចឹងគាត់អាចជួយ hold certificate ចេញលុយឲ្យបានហើយ hold យកឈ្មោះគាត់ចឹងទៅកសិករទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងនឹងលក់ស្រូវមកឲ្យគាត់ហើយគាត់ចេញ live certificate តែឥឡូវហ្នឹង EU តឹងខ្លាំងទៀតអត់អាចឲ្យ processor កាន់ certificate បានទេត្រូវតែជា cooperative ត្រូវជា farmer group ដែលអាចកាន់ certificate នឹងបានអញ្ចឹងទៅពួក processor គាត់កាន់តែភ័យទៀតហើយថាបើគាត់ចេញលុយ live certificate ហើយស្រាប់តា grower group អត់លក់មកឲ្យតែគាត់ខាតទាំង live certificate គាត់ខាតទាំងអត់បានប្រមាណកឬមួយក៏ម្រេចតាមតម្រូវការរបស់គាត់ទៀតចា៎
ចឹងមានន័យថាបញ្ហាប្រឈមក៏បានន័យថាកសិករហ្នឹងគាត់អត់មានថវិកាបញ្ហាប្រឈមតែមួយហ្នឹងឯង
ចា៎
អត់មែនមានន័យថាបញ្ហាប្រឈមហ្នឹងគឺអមថា requirement របស់ស្តង់ដារគាត់អនុវត្តមិនបានមានករណីនេះអត់
គាត់អនុវត្តបានបងរឿងអត់ប្រើជីអត់ប្រើអីហ្នឹងគាត់អនុវត្តបានទាំងអស់
ចឹង
ចា៎
សំណួរខ្ញុំមួយទៀតនៅពេលដែលអូនចេញ certificate ហ្នឹងតើមានគ្រប់គ្រងដល់ខាងអ្នកលក់នៅលើទីផ្សារorganic ដែរអត់
បងពាក្យច្រើនណាស់ហ្នឹងយើងគ្រប់គ្រងទៅលើ label យើងមាន label ឲ្យគាត់ដាក់ថា certified ដោយណាគេហើយយើងមាន traceability ដែលយើងតាមដានគាត់តាំងពីប្រភពfarmer មួយណាហើយគាត់លក់ចេញទៅឲ្យណាគេខ្លះពួកអីពីមួយ unit ទៅមួយ unit ពី farm មួយទៅ processing មួយទៅ trader មួយយើងត្រូវចេញ transaction certificate មានន័យថា TC ដើម្បីបញ្ជាក់ថា farmer លក់អស់ប៉ុន្មានគីឡូហើយ processor លក់ទៅ trader អស់ប៉ុន្មានគីឡូ
ប៉ុន្តែយើងអត់មានទៅ control ការ storage របស់ហដែងអ្នកនៅនឹងផ្សារ organic ណា
សម្រាប់ retailer ធម្មតាអីយើងអត់មានទេបងយើងមានតែលុះត្រាណាតែគាត់មានឃ្លាំងដែល certify ហ្មងអាហ្នឹងបានយើង control
ចាអរគុណ
បង
regarding to Mr. Marcelino my question because I heard that you said like the textile company or garment company that your organization is in spec of provide certificate for product that to export something like that. If I'm not doubt, your organization is a certification body or only like the organization only control something like that.
First of all, I work for the GIZ and I am placed inside the Eurocham, so I'm not directly involved into the certification. SGS and Control Union and other companies are doing this job. So, Better Factory Cambodia looks after the social aspects of the compliance for the garment sector. It can be expanded to other sector, but there are certain difficulties because of the funds. It's very expensive to run such an operation. So ideally would be that there would be one single standard for manufacturing, and then that single standard of the Cambodian standard, okay, will be applied to all the manufacturers. Because I feel also that there are too many, at least in the garment sector, there are too many standards. The one factory, if you have a factory fairly big, you will probably have to follow at least 6 or 7 standards. One for the Americans, one for the Australians, another one for the European, and then you have the Better Factory Cambodia, and then you have another one. So that's for the social part. The product itself has other standards. It can be ISO standards, it can be sustainability standards, it can be the how do you call it, the one for the recycle?
CS.
Yeah, the GRS. The GRS. It can be the Ecotex. It can be so many other standards, and all of them, they cover only one part of the process. Some of them cover the raw material. Some of them cover the ecological part of the product. Some of them cover the social part of the product. I feel there is quite a little bit of overburning in terms of standards. So what we have here in Cambodia is an opportunity with the STRACAP to set up standards that are internationally accepted because they are very, very similar to the international one, okay? And once you have them, you also automatically can comply to the international one. Because if we have a different standard, then we run the risk of creating another one and another one, and again. So when you import the goods, for example, that you sell in the supermarket, they have to comply to the Cambodian standard, but because the Cambodian standard could be very similar to the, I don't know, to the Chinese standard or to the Korean standard or to the European standard, then they can automatically apply for the local standards, etc. Right? So you will have a less burden on all the facilities and the importers.
Okay, thank you.
To your question?
Yes, I understood that because I would like to share you that about the standard development. Normally for the garment factory or the other sector, the product, they have a standard for product. They have another standard for the system and another standard for testing. So like you said, like for the product, we could not combine only one standard together for one product, because sometimes for one product they have many standards. Those could not combine together. But
this is pretty much the standard.
Yeah.
It's the standard of having many standards.
Yeah.
In all the sectors.
No. Regarding, for example, like one bottle standard here, one bottle drinking water, they have so many standards for this one. But I understood your point. For the problem that I know from yours, maybe one factory different from the other factory using the standard. For example, the standard the owner of the factory maybe from Singapore, then maybe they can use standard from Singapore, and Chinese factory maybe use standard from the China, something like that. That is the problem. So I understood your point that you said that you prefer that we have the Cambodian standard for one standard can apply for all, but this we will considering what kind of standard that can apply for all, but for product standard we are sure we could not. So another question, because we have the one technical committee about textile, so the chair of the technical committee, it comes from the association for textile and footwear. Then those associations, they told us that they have laboratory. So your organization, what is your linkage or any connection with those institutions, or you have no any?
I guess you're talking about the TAFTAC, which is the manufacturer associations of the Cambodian factory for the GFT, for the garment, footwear and travel goods. Mm-hmm. As far as I know, they don't have a laboratory. In fact, for heavy metal, Cambodia doesn't have a laboratory. They need to be sent to Vietnam, I guess, for heavy metal, right? There is only a laboratory for different kind of other tests, like the GSM or the other things. So basically, running a high-end laboratory is an extremely expensive affair. Not only in terms of machinery, but also in terms of maintenance, and then you need the you need to have a constant flow of work in order for the machinery to be maintained very well. At the moment, nobody has decided to do that kind of investment in Cambodia, as far as I know. At least for heavy metals, they're really expensive. The manufacturer, the TAFTAC does not have any lab. Does not have any lab, also because usually the buyers take the samples and they have their own lab in Singapore, or they have their own lab in Hong Kong or in Germany, and they do the test over there. Yeah, smaller buyer do not follow always, they follow just the minimum requirement standard, not the very high standard.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So we come to an end of our session. I know that there are still many questions on the grounds. Of course, you have the name of the panelists, and probably you can ask the organizer if you have any pending questions, and our organizer can proceed the question offline with our panelists and everything. So thank you for your attention and very interesting question, and especially thank you to our great panelists. We truly appreciate your participation. Thank you.
Thank you.